Ms. Oliva, Mr. Oliva, if you could go to a breakout room for me, please. Breakout room number 2, and the clerks will swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone. We are ready on Destiny Chavarria. Ms. Conley, are you ready on Ms. Chavarria?
Ms. Chavarria?
All right, and Ms. Conley, you're on mute.
And just facing forward.
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay.
The arrows, between the arrows, and just face forward. Oh, you picked them up, hold on.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 8607W, State of Texas versus Destiny Alexis Chavarria. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Teresa Connolly for Ms. Chavarria.
And are you Destiny Alexis Chavarria? How do you pronounce your last name, please?
Chavarria.
All right, are you Destiny Alexis Chavarria?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. The court will note for the record that the defendant is present in the courtroom. Any objections to us proceeding by video, state?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. No.
Ms. Chavarria, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Ms. Chavarria, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Destiny Alexis Chavarria who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 8607W for the offense of driving while intoxicated on September 2nd, 2020 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, state.
One moment, Your Honor. Okay, on or about the 18th day of November, 2020, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Destiny Alexis Chavarria, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the portable alcohol monitoring device, and that the defendant went into lockout status in violation of condition number 17.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? I'm sorry?
True.
State,
State will waive the remaining violations.
any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Chavarria, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 17, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, and up to $1,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 17?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 17 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We're asking this court to deny the motion, continue her on her community supervision, alter and amend her conditions to include 60 days of weekly UAs and abuse with an affidavit of non-driving. Now, there seems to be a discrepancy on whether there is an affidavit of non-driving on file. Probation saying there's not, defense saying there is, but either way, as long as there is one, we're in agreement to do abuse as opposed to the Smart Start device.
All right, defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, Ms. Chavarria, how old are you?
I'm 22.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm 22.
Who did you come here with today?
I came with my mom.
All right, Ms. Chavarria,
Yes, ma'am.
you cannot drink alcohol, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Period. You're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation. You're definitely not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation for driving while intoxicated. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you what I know. Even though I haven't done a statistical study of this, my statistics professor would be very upset because I haven't done the full study. But this is what I hear about all the time. People who drive intoxicated, when they have an accident, you know who ends up getting killed or injured? Not the driver who's driving intoxicated, either that driver's passenger or other people in other vehicles. You don't want to end up being that person who wakes up at the Bexar County Jail and find out that you've been in an accident and someone's been killed. Because then what's going to happen is you're going to come to court crying, asking for mercy and sympathy. Your mom is going to come to court crying, asking for mercy and sympathy. Don't put your mom in that position. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you do this affidavit of non-driving?
It was last year that we had did it. When I had attorney Dirk Ashba.
All right, this is what you're going to have to do. The probation is saying they don't have it.
Dirk just sent me a copy, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Dirk just sent me a copy.
All right, thank you very much. That needs to get to probation. That
Thank
needs
you.
to be sent to probation today. If it's not sent to probation today, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a notary and do another affidavit of non-driving. Mom, she's not allowed to drive. So your mom, I'm assuming, has a car at the location.
Yes.
You're not allowed to drive. If there's an emergency, call 911. You are not allowed to drive. If you need to go to the grocery store, you are not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the one thing you're not allowed to do when you're on this probation?
Drive.
And what's the other thing you're not allowed to do?
Drink.
If you do any of those things, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a motion. It's going to be a motion requesting that your probation be revoked. What's going to end up happening is you're going to end up being arrested wherever you may be, at school, at work, wherever. You're going to go to the Bexar County Jail. Your mom is going to have to take money to bond you out, and then we'll hear your case. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to stress to you how serious this is and the dangers of drinking and driving. For some reason, young people don't get it. They think they're invincible, think it's never going to happen to them. All right, I'm going to follow your agreement. deny the motion, alter and amend conditions. You're gonna do 60 days of weekly UAs. Are you employed?
I am.
That needs to come out of your pocket, not your mom's pocket. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And abuse, and you're gonna have to provide an affidavit of non-driving. And Ms. Conley, the clerks have just given me a copy of the affidavit of non-driving, and I will have them forward that to probation. State, did you receive that as well or no?
Let me look, Judge.
It's
Not yet.
all right, it's on file. It's file dated June 29th, 2020 at 4:17 p.m. We'll make sure that probation has that, Ms. Conley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do I need to send what I have or no?
No, that's fine. I'm just noting
Thank you.
for the record that it is there, and we'll make sure that this is forwarded over to probation.
Thank you.
Judge, I think the issue all along has been a lack of communication. So whatever she does needs to go to probation. So
Okay.
fine by me.
All right. Ms. Shavira,
Yes, ma'am.
you better stay in contact with probation.
Okay.
If you don't, things may turn out differently for you, and I don't think you want to be 180 days at the Bexar County Jail potentially. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else before we close the record?
No, Your Honor. Thank you. May I be excused?
I'm going to send you to a breakout room number 2. Ms. Conley, you can go to number 2, or either you can be excused.
Thank you.
You'll go to breakout room number 2 in just a moment. Rebecca, I'm going to do this next plea, and it's a plea for deferred adjudication. So we'll take that up, and then Rebecca, you can go to the breakout room.
Okay. All right.
Let me see. Ms. Conley, you can go to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused after that?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Madam.
All right. Who was the prosecutor on your case, Linda?
Hunter Morris, Judge.
Okay.
What are you doing with the?
All right, David, we're just waiting for your client to appear in the courtroom. The court is calling Santiago Rudolph Olivo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Hunter Morris.
for the defense?
Linda Corley.
Are you Mr. Olivo?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Olivo, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Judge, I acknowledge I received everything that's listed on that discovery acknowledgement. Yes, and we reviewed the evidence with my client.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Olivo, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on the lesser included offense, Judge, of assault bodily injury, Class A misdemeanor.
Any objection?
No objections. No objections, Judge.
Mr. Oliva, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with assault bodily injury as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment is anywhere up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Oliver, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury. There's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's been no contact with Timothy Clary, C-L-A-R-Y, father and son, and no contact with Donna Clary. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There have not, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 1 year. There be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours of community service restitution, and anger management. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury as a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
State offers states one and attachments, Judge.
Any
No
objection?
objections, Your Honor.
Ms. Oliva, Mr. Oliva, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I know he regrets that this incident occurred the way it did, and he's grateful to the state for allowing him to go forward on this misdemeanor rather than a felony, and has every intention to make sure that he meets all the requirements of the court, Your Honor, so you won't see him again.
All right, Mr. Santiago Oliva, how old are you?
I turn 22 next week.
Let me explain something to you about driving.
Yes, ma'am.
People want to go fast. My mom always says, just let them go fast and go around you. People want to go slow, let them go slow. At the end of the day, guess what? Everybody ends up at the red light at the same time. All these lights, and I watched a documentary on it. When you're driving on the street, all those lights are timed, and they're timed based upon what the speed limit is. So no matter how fast you go, unless you plan on running the red light, guess what? I'm gonna be at that same light with you. You see people weaving in and out of traffic, even on the freeway. And guess what? I end up right where they are. To drive, you must have patience.
Yes, ma'am.
And the number one thing, you shouldn't be getting out of your car to confront anybody.
Right.
This could have ended up so much differently. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Texas. People usually pull out guns, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I see where you were there. Some of your family member was there. The complainant was there. The complainant's family member was there. That just caused all sorts of confusion, because now you're in an argument and fighting with that driver. That driver families gets in the argument with your family. And then next thing you know, bodies are littering the roadway.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
So is there any kind of driving lessons that are available for Mr. Oliva? I see anger management listed and everything about that, but is there something to teach him about driving?
Such courses exist, Judge. Nothing was agreed to.
All right, so what courses do we have to tell people to have patience on the roadway?
Defensive driving.
Don't get out of the car and confront people because you think they're going too slow, or because you think they're brake checking you.
Right.
Is there such course, or did I just give that course and not charge for it, Brenna?
Just gave
You gotta
that
have
course,
patience
Judge.
to drive.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have patience, you soon be behind the wheel of a car.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
I'm going to follow your agreement, but Mr. Oliva, from here on out, whenever you get behind the wheel of a car, you know what your motto should be? Wherever
Yes.
I need to be, whatever my destination, whenever I show up, that's the time I should have shown up.
Right.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What do you do?
I'm a tire technician and discount tire.
Oh, wow, okay. There are a lot of nails around here with all the construction work.
Yes.
Brenna, I know this because I'm constantly picking up nails. So how far did you go in school?
On my, I had probably on my high school or college.
Oh, I'm glad you've gone through college. Okay, how far did you go in college?
I didn't get to finish because of when the COVID outbreak happened. We switched to online, and my school got shut down because of the COVID outbreak. And my school was hands-on hands, so I didn't get to finish. But I had one month left.
Which school is this?
It was South Texas Votech. South Texas Votech. It's a technical school. I went for diesel mechanics.
All right, so I mean, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Since I work at Discount Tire, I'm actually moving up pretty quickly in my company. I'm actually a sales apprentice now. So I'm up front majority of the time now, and I sell tires to people, and I make sure everybody's basically safe.
Okay. Isn't that strange? See, you have this problem on the roadway and yet you're the tire guy.
Right.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court, as previously stated, finds there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, place you on 1 year deferred adjudication, $500 fine that will be probated, 80 hours of community service restitution. I'll deduct 40 hours if you obtain or have obtained the COVID vaccine. For the record, again, I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccine, but if you've received it, then
Yeah.
you can give that documentation of probation and they will deduct 40 hours of your community service hours. And with regards to the remaining 40, if you provide that, if you complete some sort of technical training, trade school or higher level education, I'll deduct the remainder of those.
I actually have I'm getting my second COVID vaccine today, actually.
Oh, well, I hope you're not late for that.
No, ma'am, I wouldn't be. They do walk-ins, so
Okay. We're going to do anger management,
yes, ma'am.
no contact with Timothy, Clary, father and son,
Understood.
and no contact with Donna Clary,
Understood.
regular Zoom reporting. If something happens and you can't report by Zoom, you have to report in person.
Would that be for probation, Judge?
Yes, but if you're able to Zoom, like you're Zooming now, you don't have to, you can report by Zoom. But if you can't Zoom, you're gonna have to report in person. If
Okay.
you're drug tested today, what are the results gonna be? Tell the truth, shame the devil. What are the results gonna be?
Marijuana, Judge.
All right, see, here's the thing, young people, stop using drugs, stop using the marijuana. I know I don't want you fixing my tires if you're using marijuana.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So we're gonna test for levels. Those levels need to start going down. While you're on probation,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
not allowed to drink alcohol, even if it's at a barbecue birthday, and you're
Yes,
not
ma'am.
allowed to smoke marijuana.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely understood.
All right, so I'm sorry, what?
I quit last week, so
Okay, Brenda, everybody is quitting marijuana last week. It's like when people say, how much did you have to drink? It's 2 beers.
right.
All right, so keep on quitting.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am. I have 3 dogs though, but I consider those my kids.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Animals never grow up. You can never go on vacation and say, I've prepared all the meals. See you guys back. So,
Right. But no, ma'am, I don't have kids.
all right. And we can do, who do you live with? By yourself?
No, ma'am. I live with my wife's grandmother.
Okay, we're going to do field visits 1 time per month. I'm sure your wife's off the record, I'm sure your wife's grandmother says like, hey, I'm an animal lover myself, but she probably says, people, this is grandmother's house. Stop
Yes, ma'am.
bringing all the extra mouths in here to feed.
All the time, Your Honor. She actually, she loves our dogs, but she gets mad at our dogs as well all the time. She treats them like grandkids.
See, there we go. She doesn't want any more grandkids right now.
Right, understand.
All right, we can go back on the record. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Oliva needs?
I'm sorry, did you say the proof of employment within?
Thank you. So we're going to do proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with children. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we will close the record. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and probation will go over conditions with you. Ms. Reyes, Ms. Peterson is back. Do you know if she's paid what she's supposed to pay?
Yes, Meredith had, the agreement was to pay the $300, which she did, and to withdraw in term unsat.
Okay, then as soon as I receive that, we will take care of that.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Linda, you can go to breakout room number 1 with your client. And probation will go over conditions.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Judge. May I be excused from there?
Yes, you may be excused from there.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Orozco, you have your new court date. Norma, can you let them know Mr. Orozco can go back? He's 14P.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Olivo, do you see how to go to the next breakout room?
No, ma'am, I do not. I don't have a, oh, is there a little thing that says join breakout room?
Yes,
And is it one?
yes.
Yes, ma'am, I got it right here.
Thank you. Sunny Middleton, do you have anything else with us? Okay, she's excused. David Woodard. They said that your client ended up paying, so she'll be termed unsatisfactory.
Is that for me, Judge, Ms. Peterson?
Yes,
May I be excused?
yes, you may be excused.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
And I'm sending the withdrawal right now before I go to the breakout room, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone, I'm going to stop live stream. That was our last case for today. So we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. And so everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.